this review, we're going to take a look at the Storm Collectibles Golden Axe Skeleton Warrior 2-pack. Don't have a big connection to Golden Axe. I did play the arcade game a little bit back in the day. The main reason I got these two is I have a Marvel's Hela display in my collection, and I was wanting to add a few Skeleton Warriors for her. The packing is really nice. It's kind of got a little digital feel to the artwork to give it like the old video arcade style feel. And you get nice glossy imagery for the characters on the box. On the back it's all flat. You get your character, like your character selection for the game on top. Your standard warning signs on the box packaging. All right, let's crack this open and take a closer look inside. Here we have the tray outside the box with all accessories. So each warrior comes with multiple sets of hands, sword, and shield. Now let's get these out of the tray and take a closer look. Here we have both skeleton warriors freed from the plastic tray with all their accessories. Each figure comes with 5 sets of hands, including the ones out of the box. Each has a sword and a shield. For protection, each of the skeleton warriors had a piece of styrofoam inserted into the rib cage, which is nice to keep it from collapsing since it's an open cavity in there. The figures come pre-packaged with their fist hands. You have 2 sets of gripping hands. A set of open style hands, open pose hands. 2 pointing hands. And 2 clawed style pose hands. Since both skeleton warriors are exactly the same, so we'll just take a look at one to run down the articulation of the figure. The joints are, several of the joints are much like Robotech joints, or they hinge and swivel at top and bottom, which you can allow for the dual motion on, like on the wrist. You can either have a horizontal joint or a vertical joint, depending on the rotation of the joint. With these being Robotech style joints, you can rotate the joints and have it either be like a horizontal hinge or a vertical hinge, depending on how the position the joint is into the wrist and onto the hand itself. The elbows are the Robotech style. You get the standard bend. You get more than 90 degrees since it's a very slim profile of the figure. There's nothing no arm to run into. And the shoulders have a full 360, hinge in and out. The head is on a ball joint, and you have articulated jaw. There's 2 points of articulation in the spine, one below the rib cage, one at the pelvis. And you can get a pretty good crunch forward and this far back. Now the hips are a little different. You have a ball joint and a socket on the hip, and you also have the Robotech style joint on top of the femur, which allows for hinge up and down, rotate forward, and a little bit of what would be a thigh swivel if you had a thigh. The knees are the same way with the same style joints. You can get more than 90 degrees. Rotation at the knee. The ankles are the same way. You just have to watch out to which direction your ankle is pointing to get your ankle pivot or hinge up and down properly. And you have toe joints. Okay, let's do some size comparisons. Since this is this is my very first Storm Collectibles figure. They do run on the larger size. They're probably more 7-inch scale figure, and which we're going to display with Hela. She's a larger figure, which would be fine with her. And Asgardians tend to be larger characters anyway, if they're going to be the skeletal remains of fallen Asgardian warriors. Here we have the Skeleton Warrior next to the Marvel Legends Bucky Cap, and a WWE Elite Stone Cold Steve Austin. Here we have the Skeleton Warrior next to SH Figuarts Goku, and a Bandai Dragon Stars First Form Frieza. Here we have the Skeleton Warrior next to the Star Wars Black Series Boba Fett, and a DCUC Superman. Here we have the Skeleton Warrior next to Motu Classics Skeletor, and Motu Origins Beastman. These are the first Storm Collectible figures I've ever had, and so far I've really liked the build quality of these and the detail and the articulation. They make a great addition to any kind of displays. I'm going to be like I said, I'm going to be using them for my Hela display. But if I'd be tempted to get some more, and I'm going to add some into my Motu display as minions for Skeletor, or they'll be good for any demonic style or evil undead army troop builders. All in all, these are excellent figures, and I appreciate you taking the time to watch my review, and I'll talk to you later.